Hi, I'm Nikita. I'm on the Glee team for communications.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm on the Glee team for software.
And today we're going to be talking about the I2C check. So, the materials you're going to need are your Lunasat, a computer with the Arduino IDE installed, and your FTDI and the cables.
As for your code, you will need the Glee I2C scanner sketch. You can find it by opening Arduino and going to Files, Examples, Glee 2023, Module Sketches, and finally Glee I2C Scanner.
So, why would we want to test the sensor?
So sensor testing is important to making sure that the observations we make with our sensors are existent and accurate. So by doing further refined testing, we can verify the accuracy of our sensors and thus our observation quality.
And what does the I2C scan code consist of?
So the I2C scan code opens up a communication channel and probes for sensors and their IDs. You can kind of think of it like a salesperson in a neighborhood. The salesperson will go from door to door, collecting addresses from the people that open their doors and then making a list of those addresses. And they can then double check those addresses against an already existing table in order to verify and match those people with their addresses. So every sensor has something called an I2C address, and the microcontroller knows which sensor is which because of that address. So what our sketch is doing is scanning and printing all I2C addresses found on the I2C bus, and it is using those in order to actually verify sensor connections to the Lunasat. So we do need some software in order to communicate with our TMP117 temperature sensor. We need the TMP117 and Glee sensor libraries, which are provided for you. And these contain functions that are necessary for sensor operations, as well as some example sketches we have already written for you. So the specific libraries needed for the TMP117 sensor is the Glee TMP117 library, the Glee sensor library, and a third library called Wire, which is actually used for communicating with I2C devices like our sensors. So the first step is to open the I2C scanner code if you have not done so already. As a reminder, it can be found under Files, Examples, Glee 2023, Module Sketches, Glee I2C Scanner. So when you first open it up, you will see some global variables such as a sensor addresses array and a sensor name array. These are used to basically map these sensor addresses with the sensor names for when we actually check for them in the loop part of our sketch. But first, we have the setup function of our sketch. This is where we will be initializing both I2C and serial communications channels using functions provided by the wire library, as well as the serial.begin function. Next, we have the loop function, which is where we will actually be going through the sensor address array and printing messages if we are able to find a connection between the address and the sensor. So assuming no error occurs, we can increase the number of devices that we have found and print out that a particular sensor was found at a particular address. So step 3 is to plug your FTDI into your computer and Lunasat if you have not done so already. And there is a picture for reference for what your wires should look like. Step 4 is to verify the code by clicking the checkmark icon at the top far left. Step 5 is to upload the code by clicking the arrow icon next to the checkmark icon. And step 6 is to click the magnifying glass icon in order to launch the serial monitor. Finally, step 7 is to verify your output to make sure that you have found all 4 sensors on your Lunasat. You should see that you have found your magnetometer, temperature, thermopile, and accelerometer sensors at their expected addresses.
And throughout this entire process, what should people do if they run into any errors or problems running their code?
So when you click that verify button, you might find that there are some errors in your code. You will see these pop up at the bottom of your window in orange, and you can use these to identify what should be changed or fixed in order to remove those errors.